There comes a moment in every life when we stand at a crossroads, where every choice, every word, and every desire will shape our future. But have you ever wondered, could we take control of these things rather than letting them dictate our lives? We often face the consequences of careless words, uncontrolled thoughts, and reckless spending. But what if I told you that the power to control your mind, your mouth, and your money has always been within you? Imagine a life where you are in full control of your thoughts, speaking life with every word, and wisely managing your resources. When that happens, not only will your future change, but your relationships and sense of purpose will become clearer than ever before. So, where will you begin to make that dream a reality? There are moments in life when we stand at an important crossroads. Every decision, every word, every thought can change the path ahead. Have you ever felt the weight of wrong choices in the past, the sting of careless words that hurt others, or the regret of uncontrolled spending that brought consequences? Perhaps you've experienced the feeling of regret, wishing you could have controlled those things. But did you know you don't have to live bound by those things forever? The power to control your thoughts, your words, and your finances has always been within you. Too many lives have been shattered by reckless words, unchecked thoughts, and impulsive financial decisions. However, today you can choose differently. You can rise above those temptations of uncontrolled thoughts and actions. You can learn to discipline your mind, speak with wisdom, and manage your resources strategically. But this isn't just about success or prosperity. This is about legacy, purpose, and the divine calling you were born to fulfill. You weren't created to live with a restless mind, a reckless tongue, and an empty wallet. You were made to walk in strength, speak life, and manage your blessings wisely. When you do that, your life will change, your relationships will flourish, and your sense of purpose will become clearer than ever. It all starts in your mind. This is the battlefield where victories are won or lost before they ever manifest in your life. Every decision you make, every word you speak, and every action you take begins as a thought. The power of your thoughts cannot be underestimated, because they shape your reality, mold your character, and determine the course of your life. An undisciplined mind is like a ship without a captain, tossed by every wave, controlled by external forces rather than guided by a steady hand. If you don't take control of your mind, something or someone else will. From the moment you wake up, thoughts flood your mind. Some are filled with hope and purpose, while others whispered out fear and negativity. You must decide which thoughts to entertain and which to reject. Thoughts are like seeds. What you plant will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and insecurity, your life will reflect anxiety, hesitation, and failure. On the other hand, if you plant seeds of faith, courage, and wisdom, your life will bear abundant fruit, filled with confidence, peace, and purpose. The mind is a powerful tool, but it can also be a dangerous enemy. It can lift you to great heights or drag you into deep despair. Have you ever noticed how a single negative thought can ruin your entire day? How one doubt can paralyze you from moving forward? That's why mastering your mindset is crucial. You must become the gatekeeper of your thoughts, allowing in only what is good. You see, not every thought that enters your mind should be given the right to settle there. Some thoughts, just like unwanted guests, need to be shown the door immediately. Others, however, deserve your attention and care. They must be nurtured, cultivated, and allowed to grow. One of the greatest misconceptions people have is that they are powerless over their thoughts. But let me tell you, that's simply not true. While you may not have control over every single thought that pops into your mind, you have complete control over which ones you choose to dwell on. You control what you allow yourself to focus on, what you meditate on, and what you let shape your perspective. It's like a farmer tending to a garden. A farmer does not allow just any seed to be planted in their soil. They carefully choose what to plant and nurture. Similarly, you must be deliberate about what you allow into your mind. It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that dominate your mind. What are they? Are they thoughts of hope, or are they filled with worry and doubt? Are they thoughts of possibility, or are they filled with limitations? Are they rooted in faith, or are they driven by fear? What you think about the most will shape your attitude, influence your decisions, and ultimately determine the course of your destiny. If you want to truly master your mindset, you must feed your mind with truth. The world is constantly bombarding you with lies. It will tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, or that you're not capable enough. The world will try to convince you that your past mistakes define you, that your failures disqualify you, and that your future is hopeless. But all of this is a lie. These are lies that need to be replaced with truth. You must train your mind to reject every thought that does not align with who you were created to be. Your mindset is shaped by what you allow yourself to hear, see, and meditate on. So what are you feeding your mind each day? If you constantly consume negativity, gossip, or fear-driven messages, your mind will be conditioned to expect the worst. However, if you make a conscious decision to surround yourself with wisdom, encouragement, and truth, your mind will be strengthened and renewed. Being intentional about what you expose yourself to is key. Read books that inspire and educate you. Listen to words that uplift and challenge you. Spend time with people who build you up, not those who tear you down. Your inner dialogue, the way you speak to yourself, is one of the most powerful influences on your life. Think about it. If you consistently tell yourself that you're a failure, that you're incapable, or that you'll never succeed, your mind will believe it, and your life will reflect those beliefs. But if you declare the truth, if you say that you are strong, capable, and equipped for greatness, your mind will align with that truth, and your actions will follow suit. You must learn to speak life over yourself. When doubt creeps in, counter it with truth. When fear rises, declare faith. When discouragement knocks, respond with determination. Mastering your mindset isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily discipline. Every single day you must choose to take control of your thoughts, reject the lies, and feed your mind with the truth. It's not always easy, but the more you practice it, the more it becomes second nature. To truly master your thoughts. Every single day, you must make a conscious decision to think with purpose, to reject negativity, and to embrace truth. Some days will be easier than others. Some days, doubt will scream louder than faith. On other days, fear will feel almost overwhelming, as if it's too much to handle. But in those moments, you must stand firm. You must remind yourself that you are not a victim of your thoughts, you are the master of them. Your thoughts determine your actions, and your actions, in turn, shape your habits. If you allow fear to control your thoughts, you will act out of fear. If insecurity dominates your mind, you will walk in hesitation, unsure of your next step. But when you fill your mind with faith, confidence, and purpose, your actions will naturally follow. Discipline your mind, and your life will fall in line. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about training your mind to see beyond obstacles, to focus on solutions, and to hold on to hope even in the midst of adversity. Life will throw its share of difficulties your way. You will face trials, disappointments, and setbacks. But if your mind is anchored in truth, you will not be easily shaken. Your thoughts, grounded in strength and truth, will allow you to stand firm, no matter what life throws at you. Mastering your mindset means taking full responsibility for what shapes your perspective. It means refusing to be a prisoner to negativity, worry, or fear. It's about choosing to rise above your circumstances, seeing possibilities where others see limitations, and believing in your potential, even when others doubt you. It all begins with small steps. Start by paying attention to your thoughts. When a negative thought creeps in, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is it true? Is this thought helping me move toward my purpose? If the answer is no, then replace it with a thought that does serve you. Surround yourself with positive influences. Read, listen, and speak words that reinforce the mindset you want to cultivate. Most importantly, be patient with yourself. Change takes time, but every step in the right direction brings you closer to mastering your mind. Your mind is powerful. It holds the key to your success, your peace, and your fulfillment. Don't allow it to be controlled by fear, doubt, or negativity. Take charge of your thoughts. Choose to think with purpose. Choose to feed your mind with Truth, choose to see yourself not as a victim of your circumstances, but as the master of your own destiny. When you do this, your life will transform in ways you never imagined. This is why guarding your tongue isn't just a suggestion, it's a necessity for anyone who desires a life of purpose, wisdom, and impact. Many people speak without thinking, allowing their words to spill out uncontrollably like an unchecked river, flooding the world with emotions, opinions, and unfiltered reactions. What they often don't realize is that once a word is spoken, it cannot be taken back. It lingers in the minds of listeners, shaping perceptions, stirring emotions, and influencing relationships. A single careless word can destroy a friendship, break trust, or plant seeds of doubt in someone's heart. On the other hand, a well-timed word of encouragement can change the trajectory of someone's life. Every word you speak is like a seed planted in the soil of someone's heart. Some seeds grow into trees of strength, providing shade and refuge to those who hear them. Others grow into thorny weeds, causing pain and spreading negativity. You have a choice every time you open your mouth. Will you plant words that build, or will you plant words that destroy? The ability to control your tongue begins with self-awareness. Too often, people speak out of frustration, anger, or insecurity, reacting to situations without considering the impact of their words. They allow emotions to dictate their speech, leading to words that cut deep, wounds that take years to heal. If you want to guard your tongue, you must first guard your heart. Whatever fills your heart will inevitably overflow into your words. If your heart is full of bitterness, resentment, or fear, your words will reflect that. But if your heart is filled with love, wisdom, and patience, your words will bring life to those who hear them. One of the most dangerous habits is speaking without thinking. Words spoken in haste often lead to regret. Many relationships have been destroyed, careers ruined, and reputations damaged simply because someone failed to pause before speaking. Wisdom teaches us to weigh our words carefully, to consider their impact before releasing them into the world. Before you speak, ask yourself, will these words build up or tear down? Will they encourage or discourage? Will they bring clarity or confusion? Another crucial aspect of guarding your tongue is knowing when to remain silent. Silence is a powerful tool that many fail to use. Sometimes the greatest wisdom is found in saying nothing at all, when emotions are high and tempers are flaring. Silence can prevent unnecessary conflict. When gossip and negativity are spreading, silence can stop them in their tracks. And when you don't know the full story, silence can protect you from speaking in ignorance. The ability to hold your tongue, even when it's difficult, is a sign of true wisdom. It's a skill that requires practice, but when mastered, it can save relationships, preserve peace, and protect your reputation. And as you begin to master the art of speaking wisely, you'll notice that your words start to have a much greater impact. When you choose to respond with wisdom, it marks a true understanding of the power of words. It's not only about holding back the words that could cause harm, but also about choosing to speak words that bring light, encouragement, and healing. Words of truth, kindness, and encouragement can change the trajectory of someone's life. A simple affirmation can give someone the courage to keep going. A word of truth spoken in love can correct a mistake without breaking a spirit. A gentle response can diffuse anger and bring peace to a heated situation. Your words carry weight. And with that weight comes the power to use them for good. One of the greatest ways to guard your tongue is to develop the habit of listening before speaking. So often people are quick to speak but slow to listen. They interrupt, assume, and react before fully understanding the situation at hand. But true wisdom comes from listening to understand, listening to learn, and listening to discern the right response. When you take the time to listen, you gain perspective. You begin to see beyond your initial reaction, and you'll find words that bring clarity instead of confusion. Listening opens the door to better communication, deeper understanding, and more meaningful relationships. Another challenge in guarding your tongue is resisting the urge to participate in gossip and negativity. Gossip is one of the most destructive forces in relationships, workplaces, and communities. It spreads misinformation, destroys reputations, and breeds distrust. People often justify gossip by calling it concern or sharing information, but the truth is, speaking about others in a negative light, especially when you don't have all the facts, rarely leads to anything productive. If you want to live a life of integrity, you must refuse to entertain gossip. Instead, use your words to build others up, to defend the truth, and to promote unity. Your words can either tear people apart or bring them together. Choose wisely. Controlling your tongue also requires discipline in moments of anger. Anger is a powerful emotion, and when left unchecked, it leads to words spoken in haste, words that wound deeply and are often impossible to undo. Many people regret the things they say in anger, but by the time the words are out, the damage is already done. Learning to pause, breathe, and calm your spirit before responding is a skill that can prevent unnecessary pain. If you feel anger rising within you, step away from the situation. Give yourself time to process your emotions before you respond. The difference between reacting and responding can be the difference between conflict and resolution. Guarding your tongue also means being intentional with your words. Don't waste your words on meaningless chatter, idle complaints, or destructive criticism. Every word you speak should serve a purpose, whether it's to encourage, to instruct, to correct, or to express gratitude. Words are a gift, and like any gift, they should be used wisely. Be mindful of how you use this gift in your daily interactions. One of the greatest benefits of guarding your tongue is the peace it brings. When you speak wisely, when you choose your words with care, you create an environment of respect, trust, and understanding. This peace extends not only to those around you, but also to your own heart. Your words can either stir up strife or bring about harmony, and when you choose harmony, you create a peaceful world for yourself and those you care about. When you choose your words carefully, you avoid unnecessary conflicts, misunderstandings, and regrets. You create an environment of trust and respect in your relationships. People know they can count on your words to be truthful, kind, and wise. They don't have to second guess your intentions or worry about being hurt by careless speech. When you guard your tongue, you build a reputation of integrity, and your words carry more weight and influence. The discipline of controlling your tongue, however, is not an easy one. It requires constant self-awareness, patience, and humility. There will be times when you slip up, when words come out in frustration or thoughtlessness. But the key is not to stay discouraged. Rather, it's about learning from those moments. Recognize where you need to improve and commit to doing better. Apologizing when you've spoken wrongly, seeking forgiveness when your words have caused harm, and making a conscious effort to speak with wisdom and grace, these are all part of the journey. Your words have immense power. They can bring life or death, healing or destruction, unity or division. Every day you have the opportunity to choose how you'll use them. Will you use them to build up, to encourage, to bring truth and wisdom? Or will you use them carelessly, causing pain and regret? The choice is yours. But one thing is for certain: if you master your tongue, you will master your relationships, your reputation, and your ability to make a lasting impact. Guard your tongue, and you will guard your destiny. Life is full of moments when emotions rise like a storm, desires pull us in different directions, and impulses demand immediate action. In these moments, the ability to control your impulses becomes the defining factor between success and failure, wisdom and regret, peace and chaos. Too many lives have been derailed by a single impulsive decision, a moment of uncontrolled anger, an unfiltered response, a reckless financial choice, or an emotional reaction to temporary circumstances. The inability to control impulses can lead to broken relationships, financial ruin, lost opportunities, and lifelong regrets. But learning to master self-control is one of the greatest disciplines you can develop. It allows you to navigate life with wisdom, patience, and purpose. Impulses come in many forms. Sometimes they arise in moments of anger, when frustration builds to a boiling point and the urge to lash out feels almost impossible to resist. Other times they appear as fleeting desires, temptations that promise immediate gratification but lead to long-term consequences. Then there are the impulses driven by fear or insecurity, pushing people to make hasty decisions without considering the full picture. These impulses have the power to shape the direction of a person's life, for better or for worse. One of the greatest dangers of acting on impulse is that it often bypasses logic and reason. In the heat of the moment, the mind doesn't always consider the future. It focuses solely on the immediate emotion or desire. This is why so many people regret words spoken in anger, purchases made without thought, or decisions made under pressure. The key to mastering impulse control is learning to pause, step back, and evaluate before acting. Self-awareness is the foundation of impulse control. It requires recognizing the triggers that lead to impulsive behavior. What situations cause you to react without thinking? What emotions make you lose control? What desires are the hardest to resist? Understanding your own patterns allows you to anticipate moments of weakness and prepare strategies to manage them. For example, if you know that frustration often leads you to speak harshly, you can train yourself to pause before responding. If you recognize that stress tempts you to make unnecessary purchases, you can develop habits that prevent reckless spending. If you understand that certain environments trigger unhealthy desires, you can avoid placing yourself in those situations altogether. Pausing before acting is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. When an impulse arises, take a deep breath, count to 10, or walk away from the situation if necessary. Give yourself time to think. Many people make life-altering mistakes because they do not take a moment to consider the consequences. A single text message sent in anger can ruin a relationship. A moment of uncontrolled rage can lead to words that cannot be taken back. A rushed decision can close doors that might have led to greater opportunities. But by taking that moment to pause, you give yourself the chance to make a wiser choice. Delayed gratification is another essential part of mastering impulse control. The world constantly promotes instant satisfaction, quick rewards, immediate pleasures, and fast results. But the most valuable things in life require patience, discipline, and perseverance. True success is built over time, not in a single moment. Financial stability comes from years of wise decisions, not from impulsive spending. Strong relationships are built on consistent love and respect, not on momentary emotions. Health and well-being are the result of daily discipline, not sudden, short-lived efforts. Learning to wait, to work hard, and to be patient is the key to lasting fulfillment. One of the greatest battles of impulse control takes place in the mind. Thoughts become actions, and actions become habits. If your mind is constantly driven by impulse, you'll find it harder to make thoughtful, measured decisions. It's important to train your mind to think long-term, to focus on goals that require sustained effort, and to resist the temptation of quick fixes. When your mind is filled with impulsive thoughts, urges to react, desires to indulge, and fears that push you to make hasty decisions, your actions will naturally follow that pattern. However, if you train your mind to think with wisdom, patience, and discipline, your behavior will align with those thoughts. Controlling your mind is the first step to controlling your impulses, but that's not all emotional regulation plays a critical role in impulse control as well. Many impulsive decisions are driven by powerful emotions: anger, sadness, excitement, fear. These emotions can feel overwhelming, but they do not have to control you. Learning to manage these emotions instead of letting them dictate your actions is a skill that can transform every area of your life. When emotions rise, acknowledge them, but do not allow them to make the decisions for you. Step back, reflect, and choose a response based on wisdom, rather than acting impulsively from emotion. One of the most overlooked aspects of impulse control is the power of habit. Habits shape behavior, and behavior determines outcomes. If impulsive actions have become a pattern in your life, breaking that cycle requires intentional effort. Start small, practice self-discipline in everyday situations. Resist small urges, like skipping an unnecessary purchase, holding back a quick response, or choosing patience over immediate gratification. Over time, these small acts of discipline build a strong foundation of self-restraint that will ultimately strengthen your ability to resist bigger temptations. Accountability is also a powerful tool when it comes to mastering impulse control. Surround yourself with people who encourage wise decisions, challenge you to think before acting, and hold you to a higher standard. When you have trusted individuals around you who remind you to slow down, to think before speaking, or to wait before deciding, you gain an extra layer of protection against impulsive behavior. Setting clear goals and values is another key strategy. When you have a clear vision for your life, you are less likely to be swayed by temporary impulses. For example, if you are focused on building financial stability, you will be less tempted to spend recklessly. If you are committed to maintaining healthy relationships, you will be more cautious with your words. If you are determined to grow in wisdom, you will be more intentional about your choices. Clear goals act as a guiding force, keeping you on the right path even when impulses try to pull you in the wrong direction. Learning from past mistakes is also a critical part of growth. Everyone has acted on impulse at some point and faced the consequences. Rather than dwelling on regret, use those experiences as lessons. Ask yourself, what could I have done differently? What strategies can I implement to avoid similar mistakes in the future? Growth comes from reflection, adjustment, and a commitment to improve. One of the greatest benefits of mastering impulse control is the peace and stability it brings. When you are not constantly reacting, regretting, and trying to fix the damage caused by impulsive actions, you experience a greater sense of calm and clarity. You make decisions with confidence, build relationships with trust, and create a life of intentional purpose rather than chaotic reactions. Self-control is not about denying yourself joy or suppressing emotions. It's about channeling desires, emotions, and reactions in a way that leads to a fulfilling and successful life. It's about choosing what is best over what is immediate, what is wise over what is easy, and what is lasting over what is temporary. It's about becoming the master of your actions rather than being controlled by fleeting impulses. Every moment presents a choice. Every decision shapes the future. The power to control your impulses is within you. It takes practice, discipline, and a commitment to growth. But when you master self-control, you gain the ability to navigate life with wisdom, strength, and purpose. And that is the path to true success. Now let's talk about one area where impulse control is especially important: money. Money has a way of revealing who we truly are. It tests our character, exposes our priorities, and challenges our discipline. For some, money becomes a tool for blessing others, building a secure future, and making wise investments for others. It becomes a source of stress, greed, or reckless decisions. The way a person handles money is not just about financial literacy. It's about self-control, vision, and wisdom. Wealth, whether great or small, must be managed with care because it has the power to either build or destroy a life. Many people struggle with financial discipline not because they lack income, but because they lack control. They spend impulsively, chase short-term pleasures, and neglect long-term stability. They fall into debt, live paycheck to paycheck, and constantly feel anxious about money. Yet the issue is rarely about how much money they have, it's about how they manage what they have. Financial success is not about having unlimited resources. It's about using resources wisely. Even the wealthiest individuals can end up broke if they lack self-discipline, while those with modest earnings can build a strong financial foundation if they exercise control. The problem with money is that it often stirs up emotions. Some people spend to escape stress, using shopping as a temporary relief from life's pressures. Others hoard money out of fear, never enjoying the blessings it can bring. Then there are those who try to impress others, buying things they don't need to maintain an image that doesn't reflect their reality. Emotional spending is one of the biggest reasons why people struggle financially. But learning to recognize and control these emotional impulses is the key to building financial stability. When you are in control of your impulses, you can make thoughtful, disciplined decisions about your money, ensuring it works for you and not against you. When people struggle financially, it often leads to unnecessary purchases, debt, and financial instability. The first step to mastering money is recognizing and overcoming emotional spending. Rather than using money to fill an emotional void, develop the discipline to spend with purpose and wisdom. This requires shifting your mindset from reacting to emotions to making thoughtful decisions about every purchase. It's about choosing what truly adds value to your life rather than being driven by fleeting desires. One of the most powerful tools for financial control is budgeting. Many people avoid creating a budget because they see it as restrictive. However, in reality, a budget provides freedom. It ensures that money is allocated wisely, prevents overspending, and creates room for savings and investments. Without a budget, money slips away unnoticed. It's all too easy to lose track of expenses and wonder where it all went. But with a clear financial plan, every decision becomes intentional rather than reactionary. A budget empowers you to take control of your finances and build a future you can depend on. Another damaging financial habit is living beyond one's means. Many people fall into the trap of upgrading their lifestyle every time their income increases. They earn more, but save nothing because every extra dollar is spent on bigger houses, nicer cars, and unnecessary luxuries. The result is a cycle of financial instability where no amount of income ever feels like enough. True financial security doesn't come from how much you earn, but from how much you save and invest. Living below your means creates room for financial growth, emergency preparedness, and long-term success. Debt is one of the greatest financial traps. Many people enter debt without fully understanding the long-term consequences. What seems like a small loan or a simple credit card purchase can quickly spiral into a financial burden that lasts for years. High-interest debt drains resources, limits opportunities, and creates stress. Avoiding unnecessary debt is one of the wisest financial decisions a person can make. If debt is necessary for major investments, such as education or home ownership, it should be approached with careful planning and a clear strategy for repayment. Taking on debt without a clear repayment plan can put you on a dangerous path. One of the most overlooked aspects of financial success is the importance of saving. Many people believe they'll start saving one day when they make more money, but saving is a habit, not an amount. Even small savings consistently invested over time grow significantly. Unexpected expenses are inevitable, whether it's a medical emergency, car repairs, or a job loss. But those who have savings are prepared, while those who don't are left scrambling. Having a financial cushion brings peace of mind and prevents panic-driven decisions when life throws unexpected challenges your way. Investing is another key factor in financial success. Simply saving money isn't enough. Money needs to grow. Inflation reduces the value of stagnant money over time, which is why wise investments are essential. Whether through stocks, real estate, or other investment opportunities, putting your money to work for you is a crucial step toward building long-term wealth. Investing is a powerful tool that allows money to work for the future. However, many people fear investing because they don't fully understand it. But financial education is a necessary step toward wealth building. Those who take the time to learn and make informed investment decisions create opportunities for long-term prosperity. Whether it's stocks, real estate, or other avenues, learning how to make your money grow is essential. While investing can feel intimidating at first, the more you educate yourself, the more confident you'll become in your decisions, and the more wealth-building opportunities you'll discover. Generosity is another important aspect of financial control. Many people view money through a scarcity mindset, believing that giving to others will leave them with less. However, generosity isn't about loss, it's about blessing others and cultivating a heart that isn't ruled by greed. Those who give freely, whether through charity, helping those in need, or supporting meaningful causes, often find that their generosity is returned in unexpected ways. It's not just about giving financially, it's about cultivating a spirit of kindness and abundance. Money should never become an idol that is selfishly clung to. True financial success includes the ability to bless others while still maintaining responsibility over your resources. Financial discipline also requires resisting the pressures of consumerism. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with messages telling us that happiness comes from buying more, whether it's new gadgets, designer brands, or luxury vacations. Advertisements are designed to create desires for things we never knew we wanted, but true fulfillment doesn't come from material possessions. Many people accumulate expensive things only to realize that their happiness remains unchanged. Learning to differentiate between needs and wants and resisting the pressure to keep up with societal trends leads to financial freedom. When you stop living for the next purchase, you free yourself to focus on long-term goals and create more financial stability. Another key to financial success is continuous learning. The world of finance is always evolving, and those who stay informed make better decisions. Understanding taxes, investments, market trends, and economic principles allows for smarter financial choices. Too many people leave their financial future in the hands of others without taking the time to understand how money works. But those who educate themselves take control over their wealth and create opportunities for growth. Financial education is the cornerstone of financial independence, and it empowers you to make decisions that align with your long-term goals. Delayed gratification is another principle that applies not just to life, but to money as well. Many people sacrifice their financial future for short-term pleasures. They choose immediate comfort over long-term security. But those who practice patience, who wait before making large purchases, who invest consistently, and who resist impulse spending reap far greater rewards. True wealth is not built overnight. It is the result of consistent, disciplined choices made over time. When you choose long-term stability over instant gratification, you lay the foundation for financial success and peace of mind. Financial discipline is also about setting clear goals. Without financial goals, money is spent without purpose. Those who set specific objectives, whether it's buying a home, starting a business, saving for retirement, or building an emergency fund, are far more likely to achieve financial security. Setting clear, measurable goals gives you a roadmap for your money, guiding your decisions and ensuring that you stay focused on what truly matters to you. One of the biggest mistakes people make with money is failing to plan for the future. Retirement may seem far off, but time passes quickly. Those who don't plan for the future often find themselves unprepared when the time comes. The earlier you start planning, the better. Investing in retirement early, even in small amounts, leads to long-term financial security. Similarly, having a will, insurance, and an estate plan ensures that wealth is managed responsibly, and it protects loved ones from unnecessary hardships. Discipline in finances is not about deprivation. It's about empowerment. It's about having the freedom to make choices without fear, to pursue opportunities without limitations, and to live with peace rather than financial stress. Financial discipline allows you to take control of money instead of letting money control you. It gives you the power to live life on your terms, not dictated by a constant worry about money. At its core, financial control is a reflection of self-control. Those who master their finances have mastered their impulses, desires, and vision for the future. They understand that money is not just about survival, it's a tool for building a meaningful life. Whether one has little or much, the principles of wise financial management apply to all. Money can either be a servant or a master. Those who control their finances use money as a tool to build, to give, and to grow. But those who are controlled by money live in constant stress, fear, and instability. The choice is simple, but the discipline required is great. Yet, for those who choose wisdom, the rewards are far greater than just financial wealth. They gain freedom, security, and a life that is lived with purpose when money is under control. You are free to focus on what truly matters to you, not just on surviving or chasing after the next financial gain. Much like money, our words hold incredible power. Words shape relationships, influence decisions, and determine the course of our lives. What we say can either bring healing or destruction, inspire hope or sow doubt, build others up or tear them down. The tongue may be small, but its impact is enormous. Many people have ruined friendships, marriages, careers, and reputations simply because they failed to control their words. On the other hand, those who have mastered their speech have gained influence, earned respect, and built lasting connections. The ability to control one's words is not just about speaking carefully. It's a reflection of the heart and mind. Whatever is inside will eventually come out. A heart filled with anger will produce harsh words. A mind filled with bitterness will lead to cutting remarks. But a heart filled with wisdom and self-control will speak with kindness, patience, and clarity. Controlling speech is not just about holding back. It's about transforming the way we think, feel, and respond. One of the greatest dangers of uncontrolled speech is the damage it can cause. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. The hurt they cause lingers long after the moment has passed. This is why it is so important to cultivate a mindset of wisdom and self-control, not only with our money but with our words as well. One of the most damaging forms of speech is speaking in anger. Anger is a powerful emotion, and when words are spoken in the heat of the moment, they often cause deep wounds. Many relationships have been broken because of things said in frustration. Harsh words can leave scars that last a lifetime. Once spoken, words cannot be taken back. An apology may be given, but the damage remains. This is why it is so essential to pause before responding in anger, taking a deep breath, stepping away from the situation, or simply waiting until emotions have settled can prevent unnecessary conflict. The ability to think before reacting allows you to communicate more effectively and avoid saying things you may regret later. Gossip is another form of destructive speech that can silently erode trust. Many people engage in gossip without realizing the harm it causes. Speaking negatively about others, spreading rumors, or sharing personal information that was given in confidence can destroy trust. Gossip may seem harmless at first, but it creates division, breeds resentment, and damages reputations. A person who cannot be trusted with words will eventually find themselves isolated, as others recognize the danger of confiding in them. Those who control their tongues refuse to participate in gossip, choosing instead to speak with integrity and build others up rather than tear them down. Dishonesty is another way words can cause significant harm. Lies, exaggerations, and half-truths may seem like an easy way to avoid trouble or gain an advantage, but in the end, they always lead to consequences. A reputation for dishonesty is incredibly difficult to repair. People may be deceived for a time, but eventually the truth comes to light. Integrity in speech means being honest, even when it is inconvenient. It means speaking truthfully, keeping promises, and refusing to manipulate others with words. Honesty not only protects your reputation, but also fosters trust and respect in your relationships. Complaining is another form of speech that weakens character. Many people develop the habit of complaining about everything: their jobs, their relationships, their circumstances. While it's natural to express frustration at times, constant complaining creates a negative mindset. It focuses on problems rather than solutions, drains energy, and affects the atmosphere around us. People who complain frequently tend to push others away as negativity becomes exhausting to those who hear it. On the other hand, those who control their speech choose to speak words of gratitude and encouragement, even in difficult situations. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's wrong to what's right, and it can transform not only our mindset, but also the environment around us. Encouragement is one of the most powerful uses of words. Many people struggle with doubt, insecurity, and discouragement. A single word of encouragement can change someone's entire outlook. A teacher's words can inspire a student to believe in themselves. A parent's words can give a child the confidence to overcome challenges. A friend's words can lift someone out of despair. Encouraging words have the power to heal, strengthen, and bring hope. Those who have learned to control their speech use their words to uplift others rather than to tear them down. Words, when used positively, can be a source of great strength and transformation. Listening is another important aspect of controlling speech. Many people focus so much on what they want to say that they fail to truly hear others, interrupting Talking over others or speaking without considering different perspectives leads to misunderstandings and unnecessary conflict. True communication requires listening, not just hearing words, but understanding emotions, intentions, and needs. Those who master the art of listening gain wisdom and build stronger, more meaningful connections with others. Listening is a skill that not only improves relationships but also helps to foster empathy and trust. In all of these areas, whether it's controlling anger, avoiding gossip, speaking honestly, offering encouragement, or practicing active listening, the ability to manage our words is a reflection of our inner discipline and emotional intelligence. As we continue on the journey of mastering self-control, we discover that it's not just about managing our actions, but also about mastering the way we communicate. Speaking with wisdom requires thinking before we speak. Many people regret words spoken without thought, whether it's an inappropriate joke, an unkind comment, or an impulsive promise they cannot keep. Words should always be chosen carefully before speaking. Ask yourself, is this true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If the answer to any of these questions is no, then it's better to remain silent. Silence is often more powerful than reckless words. By holding back unconsidered speech, we protect our relationships and avoid many unnecessary arguments. Knowing when to speak and when to stay silent is a true sign of wisdom and self-control. Another important aspect of controlled speech is knowing how to respond during conflict. Disagreements are inevitable, but how they are handled determines the outcome. Some people raise their voices, use harsh words, and escalate conflicts unnecessarily. Others choose to respond with calmness, patience, and understanding. The ability to de-escalate a situation through words is a valuable skill. Instead of attacking or accusing, choose communication that seeks resolution. It focuses on understanding rather than proving a point, on finding common ground rather than winning an argument. Responding with grace and a willingness to listen can transform conflict into a moment of connection, fostering growth and mutual respect. Apologies are another powerful use of words. Many conflicts continue simply because neither side is willing to say, "I was wrong." A sincere apology has the power to heal wounds, restore trust, and bring reconciliation. But an apology must be genuine. It cannot be used as a manipulative tool or spoken without true remorse. Those who have control over their words understand that admitting fault is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and humility. A heartfelt apology shows maturity and fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships. It is a way to move past conflicts and begin anew, building trust along the way. Setting boundaries with speech is equally important. There are times when it is necessary to speak up, to say no, or to confront issues directly. Some people avoid confrontation out of fear, allowing others to mistreat them. Others react too aggressively, damaging relationships in the process. The key is to balance firmness with kindness, speaking with confidence without being rude, standing for what is right without unnecessary hostility. Controlled speech does not mean remaining silent in the face of injustice. It means speaking wisely at the right time and in the right way. Standing up for yourself and others is important, but how you do so matters just as much as the message you are trying to convey. Bragging is another form of undisciplined speech. Some people use words to boast about their achievements, possessions, or status, seeking validation from others. But arrogance pushes people away, while humility draws them in. Those who are truly confident do not need to constantly talk about themselves. They let their actions speak louder than their words. Controlled speech means knowing when to share and when to remain humble, when to celebrate accomplishments without seeking praise, and when to let your achievements stand on their own without drawing attention to them. Humility is a trait that speaks volumes without saying a word, and it builds stronger, more genuine connections. Gratitude, for instance, is a powerful alternative to self-promotion. Many people unknowingly speak negatively about themselves, reinforcing beliefs that limit their potential. Phrases like "I'm not good enough," "I always fail," or "I'll never succeed" become self-fulfilling prophecies. These words reinforce a mindset of self-doubt, holding us back from realizing our true abilities. Controlled speech, on the other hand, means choosing to speak words of faith, confidence, and purpose. It's about rejecting self-doubt and instead affirming our strengths, abilities, and the possibilities before us. When we speak positively about ourselves, we begin to reshape our mindset and shift our actions in alignment with our true potential. The way a person speaks about themselves directly influences their actions and their future. When we declare that we can succeed, our mindset shifts to one of possibility. We stop doubting ourselves and start taking action. But it's not just about speaking well of ourselves, it also extends to how we talk about our future. Some people habitually speak words of doubt and defeat, expecting failure even before they try. These negative words act like chains, keeping them from pursuing their dreams. On the other hand, those who choose to speak words of hope, believing in their potential, find that their words breathe life into their dreams. Words have an incredible power to shape our reality. Those who declare success, speak with faith, and refuse to let fear dictate their speech often find that their words become a self-fulfilling prophecy. When we consistently speak positive, hopeful words, we align our actions with those affirmations, making success more likely. Just as negative words limit our potential, positive words propel us forward, guiding us toward a future that reflects our desires and capabilities. The discipline of controlled speech, however, is not something that happens overnight. It requires practice, self-awareness, and a commitment to change. Mastering speech means resisting the urge to speak in anger, to gossip, to complain, or to boast. It's about choosing to respond thoughtfully, even in challenging situations. Controlled speech requires training both the mind and heart, so that words reflect strength, kindness, and purpose. It's not about speaking less. It's about speaking better. It means using words as tools for good rather than weapons for harm. Every word we speak has power, and taking responsibility for the impact those words have on others is essential for creating positive outcomes. When we learn to control our speech, we unlock the ability to change our destiny, our relationships thrive, our influence grows, and our lives are marked by wisdom and respect. On the other hand, those who speak recklessly find themselves caught in a cycle of conflict, regret, and broken connections. The choice is ours. Will we let words control us, or will we take control of our words? Success, fulfillment, and purpose are shaped by the choices we make every day. Fear, doubt, and hesitation may hold many back, but those who take bold action, trust their instincts, and embrace responsibility open the door to limitless possibilities. True growth comes from learning, adapting, and making decisions that align with a greater vision. The future is not determined by chance, it is created by those who have the courage to choose wisely and move forward with faith, discipline, and determination.